WLRN Video presents.
Good day, evening, or night, sisters, and welcome to another WLRN Extended Interview. This is April No, WLRN resident recluse and Canadian woodland feminist. Emiliann Lorenzen interviewed Miriam Ben-Shalom, the keynote speaker for Sisters for Sisters in Madison, Wisconsin. She's a lifelong feminist and the co-founder of Hands Across the Aisle, an organization of women who set aside things that separate them to focus on a common goal: fighting gender ideology. Hope you all enjoyed these crafted interviews for our YouTube channel, because we sure enjoy making them. Listen now.
All right, so this is Emiliann Lorenzen, WLRN. I'm here with Mariam Ben-Shalom. She will be the keynote speaker at the Sisters for Sisters conference. And I looked at the website and it looks like the topic for your talk is, "This is not hyperbole, this is reality. I fight because of what I see around me, the children of Joseph Mengele." Could you go into that a little bit?
Mengele.
Okay.
It's pronounced Mengele.
Okay.
Yeah, no, do you know anything about Joseph Mengele or the medical experiments at Auschwitz?
Yes.
Okay. I look around and what I think what some of these medical doctors are doing to the bodies of people and via cross-sex hormones and puberty blockers is not entirely dissimilar to the medical experiments of Joseph Mengele. Okay? It isn't exactly like Auschwitz because nobody's gassing the kids afterwards or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But nonetheless, these sorts of things condemn such people to a lifetime of physical problems, health problems, and I find it unconscionable.
Okay. And how would you say they're similar? Maybe for somebody who doesn't really know who he was or what he did.
Well, Mengele tried to engineer changes in eye color by inserting various compounds into people's eyes. He tried to see if he could manufacture twins. He sewed kids' bodies together. He did vivisection on patients. Vivisection is surgery without benefit of anesthesia. He tried all kinds of medical experiments. I mean, he even put people in cold water to see how long they would survive before they died from hypothermia. I don't know that he per se tried to engineer cross-sex or change the sex of people, but what is the difference between one type of aberrant medical experimentation and another?
Right.
Not much, I don't think. The fact of the matter is what is going on here in America today and in other places in the world as well is morally bankrupt and morally perverse. It's amoral.
Yeah. And it's done really in public too. I mean, Auschwitz you had the wall, so people didn't totally know what was going on. They knew, but they didn't. But with what's going on with children, it's kind of being celebrated.
Saw the results of some of it, and still there are people alive today that can speak to it, or there used to be, although Holocaust survivors are getting old and they're dying. It wasn't exactly a state secret.
Right. Okay. And so why is the conference taking place in Madison? Why is that a good place now?
Well, Mad City is transgender central in Wisconsin. Thistle Pedersen is a musician who has taken it on the nose because she's not transphobic, but she stands up for the rights of women and children, and she refuses to use compelled speech. And so she's been canceled and denied, and they've tried to censor her. and everything else. I mean, she was even issued a ticket of some sort. I may not have the exact thing right, but she had to appear in front of a judge and everything else. And the judge was saying, as much as I don't like this, she didn't commit a crime. Judge is not supposed to offer his opinion. Come on. And it's just stupid. So I think in part this is to support Thistle, but it's also important to do something in a place where transgenders and their allies seem to think they have all the power. And I think part of this is to say, no, you don't.
Mhm.
No, you don't. And I think that's a good thing to do. If people do not speak up, do not challenge, then it runs rife. And I think this is a challenge to that kind of authoritarianism and misogyny.
Absolutely. And what are your general thoughts about what is needed in the women's movement and where the women's movement is right now?
Okay, number one, we need to stop fighting with one another. All right. We may not agree with everything that conservative women believe in. We not maybe believe in what this radical feminist group believes in, or that radical feminist group believes in. What we are not doing is finding common ground and saying, okay, anything else aside, we have this issue or these issues in common, and we need to work in concert to challenge these issues. And that's not being done. It isn't. There's so much infighting and everything else going on. And sometimes I find it discouraging. Speaking for myself in terms of the trans issue, because of what is being done to women and children, I will work with anybody on this issue if I find common ground with them. I am not talking about any other issues, but I work with conservative women. As a matter of fact, an evangelical Christian woman, Kaylee Triller Harms, and I co-founded Hands Across the Aisle Women in Coalition. And that coalition has worked very well because we have pretty rigorous rules about what should go there and what should be said. And both sides, if they see something that's inappropriate, deal with it. And it's been very successful. But the problem with it is, you know, there are people who say, well, we got to have this, and if we don't have this, that, and the other thing, we aren't going to work with you. That's stupid. And it's ignorant and it's dangerous. It doesn't take a lot of smarts to say, well, I may not agree with you about abortion, but we agree on the trans issue, so let's work together on that. Education takes place. When a person starts getting educated, they begin to see both sides of the issue. Okay, you know, for example, in the conservative movement, in working with Kaylee, some of her friends probably saw me as the great lavender menace. They pretty much soon learned that I'm not, you know, and all of a sudden I became a human being to them. That's education. And indeed, some of them now are not homophobic. They may not love gay people, but they can see inequity and injustice and they speak out against it. That's education. Education is power. Working together is power. Being able to see other people as human beings is power. And that's what we're not doing right now. Number two, do you really think, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that if somebody was going to harm you, they're going to post it on Facebook or social media? Women need to develop a backbone. We need to stop being shy little flowers that every time a transgender says, oh, maybe you should just shut up and die or go kill yourself, everybody goes, oh, I'm so scared, I'm traumatized. Bullshit. You stand up, you fight back. Let me tell you how it works. When I spoke in Madrid in 2017 at a gender conference, there weren't any protesters. I was told directly by the people who put on the conference when I asked, this is odd, how come there aren't any protesters? That they learned that the trans community was kind of afraid to do something and decided not to because they were afraid that I was going to do something. Well, you damn right I was going to do something if they had been there. I'm not shy. And the fact of the matter is if you act like you're afraid and carry yourself like you're afraid, and you take this kind of codswallop seriously, that gives them power. Women need to develop a backbone. And we need to fight together. It can't be one person here, one person there. There are a lot of women, and if we all work together on this issue to protect children and our rights, things would change tomorrow. They would have changed yesterday. But this business of being afraid because these loudmouth boors dare post on social media for the world to see that they think they were going to kill you or whatever. I have actually challenged these people back in the day who said this, okay, you set it up anywhere, any place, anytime. Let's rock and roll. Bring it on. Okay. Oh, I'm going to bring my friends. And I said, no, I don't have any arguments with your friends. You're the one who said that you wanted to kill me. Let's rock and roll. You set up the place, you set up the time, I'll be there. One-on-one, not anybody else. You're the one who said it. I'm the one challenging. Not a single one of those yellow belly cowards has ever taken me up on it.
Yeah.
And it's time to stop being nice. Being nice has not gotten us anywhere. I do not mean we should aggress. If somebody touches me, I'll step back and I'll say, I'm stepping back from you. You do not have the right to touch me. I am stepping back. If you touch me again, I will consider that my life may be in danger and I will defend myself. And you bet your sweet ass I will. And that's what has to be done. You give these people too much power, and it needs to stop now. Women need to learn how to fight back and set boundaries and then stand there and defend those boundaries.
Yeah,
There
absolutely.
are going to be people who don't like what I just said. And you know what? I don't care. I don't care, because I know that when you deal with barbarians, it is wise to learn the barbarians' language and their culture and their way of doing things. Certainly, we know what misogyny is. We know that men don't oftentimes care for women. We know that the trans movement is an MRA movement. Hello. Why are we so afraid to stand up and fight for this, our land, this, our life, this, our right to exist? Why? What's the problem here?
Mhm.
You are listening to WLRN.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Got a look on your face. I'm sorry if you're taken aback, but I'm not a nice person when it comes to this. Am I civil most of the time? Yes. Can I get uncivil? Yes. Can I engage in dissent? Yes. Am I tolerant of that kind of balderdash that comes out of the MRA and transgenders? No. No.
Yeah, and I think, you're a good influence for a lot of younger feminists to wake up and to stand up for themselves, because I know around women around my age and younger, we get caught up in the be nice, just be nice, just be kind. And
Has it and the answer of it is how far has that gotten us?
yeah.
Okay. How far? This far? This far? No far at all.
Hmm. Yeah, it's how it's taken over the trans stuff.
And the thing of it is that we do have allies, but we need to stop criticizing. I'm an independent, okay? I'm neither, I have no political home now, because I can't be a liberal, what with all the stupidity coming out of Biden's camp. But I can't be a conservative because I look at some of the things that those people espouse, and I have no patience for it. But the fact of the matter is we need not to criticize people who work with conservatives or whatever on this issue alone, because right now the conservatives are the only people who publish us, who present our arguments, and who give us a platform to speak. When people have criticized me for working with conservatives, I say, okay, you provide me with a liberal or a leftist newspaper, or a leftist platform, where I can safely present my case.
Hmm.
Crickets.
Yep.
Crickets.
Yeah. So, how can women listening and viewing this interview, how can they support the Madison event?
Come there. Okay, they did have registration, but there are going to be a number of things. They can come. They can. I think we need, where we have an event and these people show up. What's wrong with training women and putting them in security vests? What's wrong with getting a CCW? Do you know what that is? Concealed carry permit? I have one. I seldom carry, and I will not carry in Madison simply because if one of those men tries to touch me a second time, all bets are off. They have a right to speak. They do not have a right to touch. They do not have a right to aggress upon me. And I consider that a threat to my livelihood and my personal safety, and I will defend myself. So I'm not going to carry there, okay, because I know what I do. Women, why are we so afraid to stand up? I don't get it. Or the adverse side of the coin is, why do we not support those who do stand up and place themselves at risk?
Yeah.
Okay, you can't do it, you might lose your job. Why I'm not a banker, okay? But why has no war chest been developed where people can put money into it, and if this woman here or this woman here has a case of discrimination because somebody, canceled her or whatever, that she can sue the pants off them, that she can go and get the money for an attorney. Why do we not have a bank of attorneys who are willing to take on these sorts of cases? I mean, I oftentimes sit back and wonder in terms of what's happening to women that, we can't do with our own bodies what we will. We can't have our own groups. We have to include men. We have to shower in locker rooms with intact males based on feelings as opposed to biological reality. We have to do sports with men who say they're women based on feelings as opposed to biological reality. If you stand up and speak out the truth, you lose your job. You take these people to court, you sue their pants off. If need be, do we need to go back to court and ask the law, can I be determined a full human being under the law as a woman? We don't have that right now. And the so-called Equality Act is a friggin' joke.
Yep.
We are losing our status as full, whole, and complete human beings. Doesn't anybody understand that? I do. I come from a day when women couldn't have credit cards of their own. I come from a day when women were still considered property in the sense of American law in terms of divorce. Everything we have fought for seems to be going to hell in a handbasket. I don't know.
Yeah, and this Madison event is a really good opportunity for women to come out and to speak and to,
Yes.
Get inspired by other women who are speaking and already have experience to learn something.
Second wave feminist, but I've been out and about for 50 years. I don't think I know everything about everything, but I do know a lot about some things. And I do know that standing back and cringing and playing a shy violet isn't going to get you anywhere. Look, I took on the largest industrial complex in the United States, one of the largest in the world, the military industrial complex. I won once and I lost once, and I went to the Supreme Court, but I'm still standing. And I did this pretty much all by myself. I didn't have, none of the gay organizations at the time wanted to support me because I was the military and baby killers and we don't need GI Janes and all of this horse pucky. Without people like me and maybe Leonard Matlovich and a few others, the ban that was rescinded in 2010 would never have happened. So it takes a while. Nothing good ever comes easy. I don't know why that is, but it worked.
Yeah, and not there. Speaking of the women's movement, there also has to be some patience as well. Because I think some women get discouraged because it's like it's not happening right now. Like, it takes time sometimes.
It took me 11 years to get back into the military.
Oh.
I went back in and became the first openly acknowledged homosexual in any branch of the military.
Hmm.
It wasn't a man, it was a Jewish lesbian from Wisconsin who first won and went back in.
Yeah, it's an accomplishment.
Yeah, but it was the right thing to do. And I don't expect a pat on the back for it, because there are just some sorts of things that you do because it is correct. It is right action. It is just action. And I don't think a person should get praised for doing the right thing. I never asked for power. I don't want power, because what does that mean? It means nothing. What I have is the strength of my own voice and the strength of the force of my personal integrity and my personal beliefs, and the fact that I believe I know the difference between right and wrong, and I will act on that belief.
Yeah. Do you have any final words for anybody listening about the event, or anything else you want to share?
But if you can't come, develop an event in your own area. Get up, get going, and get out. Don't back down, give in, or give out.
Mm-hmm.
Take a stand, find others like you, and then stop being afraid. Courage. I don't mean stop being afraid, but do not allow fear to control you.
Right.
Courage is knowing that there might be some danger, but it means acknowledging it and then doing what you need to do in the first place anyway. The time for being silent is gone. The time for saying, oh, well, we have to be kind is gone. The time for saying, well, who cares if he wants to wear a dress and say he's a woman? That's gone. What is at stake here is the existence of women as a class of human beings. What is at stake here is the right for us to be full human beings and not be erased. What is at stake here is stopping the continued grooming of children, the butchering of bodies, and the poisoning of bodies of this generation, this young generation, and perhaps the generation after that one. And if we don't stop it there, how many more generations after? This is serious. It's not playtime. And I don't know but I can also say this: keep on fighting, keep on pushing, and we will win, because the truth is on our side. That's our shield. That's our strength. They can talk about fake medicine, fake science. They can lie about statistics and everything else we want. But we have the truth, and we know what it is. We don't rely on fake news or any type of fakery whatsoever. It is what it is, and it's here. And that's our power. And it's kind of interesting, because we're beginning to see it. There are all these bills that they say, don't say the gay.
Oh, yeah.
Stupid. It has nothing to do with being gay. It has everything to do with being T. Those people don't care about LGB. They probably have LGB people in their family, but it's the transgenders trying to co-opt everything so they can get their own little narcissistic, twisted way.
Mm-hmm.
Wrong. Now, are all transgenders bad? No, but if they're silent, they're complicit, and that's what I say.
Right. Well, thank you so much for speaking with me today.
Hope I didn't turn you off.
No, absolutely not. I found it inspiring. Right.
So be well, stay safe. You need anything else, you know where to find me.
Right. Thank you.
And I'm not backing down or backing out.
Thank you for listening to another WLRN Extended Interview. We hope you can make it out to Madison, Wisconsin during the weekend of the 22nd of April. If you can't, please make sure to check out our live stream of the event. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Spinster, Over It, and SoundCloud, in addition to our WordPress site. Thanks for listening.